Most men think being nice is working while she is slowly losing respect for you. You will give more, explain more, tolerate more, and still get used, ignored, or replaced. Here are 8 truths most men learn too late, and if you understand them, you will stop making the mistakes that make women lose attraction fast. Let's get into it. 1. Being too nice for approval kills attraction. Let's clear this up first because a lot of men get emotional when they hear this. Kindness is not the problem. Respect is not the problem. Being a decent man is not the problem. The problem is when a man becomes nice because he is afraid. Afraid to disagree, afraid to say no, afraid to offend her, afraid to lose access, afraid to stop giving even when she is clearly taking. That kind of niceness does not feel strong. It feels like a bribe, and women can feel that. They can feel when a man is not being good because that is his nature, but because he is hoping his good behavior will buy love, loyalty, or attraction. That energy always feels off. It feels soft in the wrong way, not peaceful, not grounded, just desperate with a smile on its face. A lot of men think, if I treat her better than every other guy, she will naturally value me more. No, not necessarily. Because if all your niceness comes with no standards, no backbone, no consequences, then what she sees is not a powerful man with a good heart. She sees a man who is easy to manage. And once a woman feels like she can do almost anything and still keep your attention, the attraction starts changing shape. It stops being respect. It becomes comfort, convenience, sometimes even pity. That is not where you want to be. A woman should feel your kindness, yes. But she should also feel your limits, your self-respect, your ability to remain calm and still walk away if the situation becomes disrespectful, because kindness with strength is attractive. Kindness without strength gets overlooked, but this gets deeper, because approval-seeking niceness usually comes from something too. Women can feel when a man is afraid of them. A man does not have to say, "I am scared to lose you," for a woman to feel it. She can hear it in how careful he becomes. She can see it in how quickly he folds. She can sense it in the way he edits himself around her. The same man who was confident in the beginning starts second-guessing everything. He hesitates before speaking. He hides what he really thinks. He avoids hard conversations. He acts like one wrong sentence will make her disappear. And once that fear enters the dynamic, his center starts moving. Now she is no longer relating to a man who stands on something. She is relating to a man whose emotional balance depends on her reaction. That changes everything. Because fear makes men do foolish things. They overtext, they over-explain, they tolerate mixed signals, they laugh at disrespect, they act unbothered while internally panicking. They start performing instead of relating, and women are deeply sensitive to energy, especially emotional weakness disguised as politeness. The tragedy is that most men think they are being careful. They think they are protecting the connection, but what they are actually doing is shrinking in front of the very person they want to impress. And once you shrink, attraction rarely grows. A woman does not need you to dominate her. That is childish nonsense. But she does need to feel that your mind is your own, that your voice is your own. That your emotional state is not hanging by a thread depending on her mood that day. That grounded presence matters more than most men realize. Now, once a man becomes afraid, another mistake follows. One that confuses men badly because it is subtle. There is no big argument, no dramatic ending, no clear warning, just a slow shift. Women often lose attraction before they lose contact. This is where many men get fooled, because they think she still replies, so we are good. She still answers my calls, so nothing is wrong. She still sees me, so I still have her. Not always. A woman can still be there and already be halfway gone. That is what many men do not understand. Attraction often leaves quietly. It does not always announce itself. Sometimes it fades while the conversations are still happening, while the good morning texts are still coming, while the relationship still looks normal from the outside, but the energy changes. She becomes less curious about you, less impressed by you, less responsive to your presence, less emotionally invested in making things work. And because there is still some contact, many men stay asleep. They keep talking, keep giving, keep hoping. Meanwhile, the emotional temperature has already dropped. That is why you cannot judge a woman's interest only by her availability. You have to look at effort, warmth, respect, the quality of her energy towards you. A woman who values you does not only respond, she participates. And once that participation starts dying, you should not ignore it just because communication still exists. This is the part where weak men get trapped in confusion. They keep trying harder when they should be observing more carefully, because effort is not always the answer. Sometimes effort in the wrong moment only makes you look more blind, which brings us to another truth that has ruined a lot of men who should have known better. 4. A man who worships beauty usually gets destroyed by it. Beauty has made fools out of strong men, men who were disciplined, men who had standards, men who knew better. Men who gave solid advice to others, and then lost all common sense the moment a beautiful woman smiled at them. That is how powerful beauty can be when a man has not mastered himself. Because beauty can make you ignore what would normally disgust you. You overlook red flags, you excuse inconsistency, you rationalize disrespect, you stay longer than you should. You turn obvious warnings into maybe she is just going through a lot. No, sometimes the truth is simpler than that. You are not confused, you are captivated. And a man who is captivated too easily becomes easy to control. This is why some men keep ending up in painful situations with beautiful women who are never truly good for them. Not because they did not see the signs, they saw them, they just did not want to accept them. That is the real danger of beauty. It can make a man betray his own standards while still believing he is thinking clearly. A woman's look should attract you, yes. But her beauty should never be so powerful that it removes your ability to judge her character. The face can pull you in, but character is what decides whether she deserves access to your life. And this next truth is brutal, because this is where many men confuse being wanted with being valued. Those are not the same thing. 5. A woman may enjoy your attention and still not value you. A lot of men get trapped here because attention feels good to give and even better to receive. She replies fast, she smiles, she enjoys the conversations, she lets you be around. She likes your presence, so you assume naturally that she must value you. Not so fast. Some women enjoy attention the way some people enjoy free benefits. It feels nice. It boosts the ego. It fills emotional space. It gives comfort, validation, entertainment. But that does not always mean deep respect is attached to it. This is why some men end up in one-sided situations for months. They are giving time, energy, reassurance, consistency, and emotional availability. And in return, they get just enough warmth to stay hooked. That is not always connection. Sometimes that is maintenance, and men who do not know the difference end up feeding women who never intended to build with them. Listen carefully. A woman valuing you will show up differently. There will be effort, consideration, care, real curiosity, real consistency. Not just when she is bored, not just when she needs comfort, not just when no better option is available. A woman who values you does not only receive your presence, she protects it. That is how you know the difference. And once a man fails to see that, he usually makes his next mistake. He starts trying harder to win what should have been given freely through genuine interest. That strategy almost always backfires. 6. Trying too hard to impress a woman often pushes her away. There is a certain desperation that hides behind performance. A man starts trying to sound too perfect, too interesting, too successful, too mysterious, too funny, too available when she wants him. Too polished when she is watching. He is not relating anymore. He is auditioning, and that energy is exhausting. Because instead of letting his life, character, and presence speak for themselves, he starts over-presenting. He wants to prove too much, too early. He wants her to see his value so badly that he ends up announcing it every 5 minutes with his behavior. That rarely lands well. A man who knows his worth does not need to keep selling it. There is calm in him, there is space in him, there is no frantic need to convince. Women notice that. The more you oversell yourself, the more you quietly communicate that you are not sure you are enough without the performance. And once that message leaks out, attraction weakens. The irony is painful. The harder he tries to impress her, the less impressive he becomes. Sometimes what makes a man memorable is not how much he performs, but how little he needs to. And when a man is not performing, something else becomes very visible. Whether he actually has direction, that is where the next point hits. 7. If she has to lead everything, she starts losing respect. Now let's be mature here. Leadership is not shouting. It is not controlling. It is not acting like a dictator. Leadership is clarity. Direction, decision-making, emotional steadiness, knowing where you stand and where your life is going. A lot of men think attraction is mostly about style, looks, or game. But many women lose respect in quieter ways. They lose respect when the man in front of them feels uncertain in every area. He cannot decide. He cannot lead himself. He has no clear standards. No real structure. no real direction. So what happens? She starts carrying the energy of the relationship. She has to make all the emotional adjustments. She has to bring the clarity. She has to direct the movement. And eventually, even if she stays, something in her starts pulling back, because most women do not want to mother a grown man emotionally. They want to feel that he can hold himself, that he can think clearly under pressure, that he can make decisions without collapsing, that he has a life that is not just drifting wherever feelings take him. This is not about being perfect, it is about having shape. A man without shape is easy to enter, easy to confuse, and easy to leave, which leads us to the final truth, the one that pulls all the others together. The one most men talk about, but very few truly understand. 8. Walking away is power, not because it looks cool, not because it hurts her ego, not because it is some manipulation tactic. Walking away is power because it proves that your self-respect is stronger than your attachment. That is rare. A lot of men say they have standards. But the moment feelings get involved, those standards disappear. They tolerate what they said they would never tolerate. They stay in conversations that drain them. They stay in relationships that confuse them. They stay around women who clearly do not bring peace, loyalty, or respect. Why? Because they are afraid to lose the connection, afraid to start over, afraid they will not find better, afraid to sit alone with the truth. But a man becomes dangerous in the best way when he is no longer afraid to leave what is wrong for him. That is when manipulation stops working. That is when disrespect becomes expensive. That is when confusion loses its hold over him. And here is the deeper truth. Sometimes walking away is not about leaving her. Sometimes it is about returning to yourself, returning to your standards, returning to your peace, returning to the man you were, before you started begging for what should have been mutual. That is real power, not controlling women, not outsmarting women, not winning against women, just refusing to lose yourself for anyone. So if you take anything from this, let it be this. Do not be the man who learns female nature only after pain teaches him. Learn earlier. Do not be so nice that you become weak. Do not be so afraid that you start shrinking. Do not mistake contact for attraction. Do not let beauty blind your judgment. Do not confuse attention with value. Do not perform for approval. Do not live without direction. And above all, do not stay where your self-respect is dying, because the man who understands these truths moves differently. He loves with clarity. He dates with standards. He observes more. He chases less, he respects women, but he does not worship them. He feels deeply, but he does not lose his center. And once a man reaches that level, he stops losing in the ways that really matter. Not because every woman will choose him, but because he will finally stop abandoning himself just to be chosen.